My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. This is the only channel dedicated to UFC fight picks and DraftKings lineups run by MMA insiders and professional fighters. Every week, I join Dan Kramer and Nick Newell, two longtime professional fighters that have fought at the highest levels on the planet, as well as Jacob Lyons, a skinny kid from Indiana. So join us every single week for our full fight card breakdowns, our individual fight card breakdowns, our betting guide, and our DraftKings lineups. Next up at UFC Vegas 35, we have Wellington Turman versus Smiling Sam Alvey. Wellington Turman is 16-5 overall, 2-3 in his last 5. Sam Alvey is 33-15, and I'm pretty sure he's 0-15 in his last 15. He is not on a great streak.
I'm looking at it right now. His last win is 1983. So.
he gets more chances than most, honestly. And I think it's because he is fun to watch. He's a gamer. Like, he's never in a boring fight. And, you know, the UFC likes to use him. In this case, I think they're using him to get Wellington Turman back on track. Wellington Turman was a guy who came into the UFC, a pretty highly touted prospect, hit a little bit of a skid. And I think they're like, okay, here's Sam Alvey. If you beat him, great. You beat him. He's an actual veteran at this point. He possesses actual power in his hands. You beat Sam Alvey. Let's build you back up. You lose to Sam Alvey. You're just not ready for the UFC. And that's the matchup here. Let's do the quick breakdown here. Sam Alvey, as I mentioned, he has a really long leash with the UFC. He's on a pretty bad losing skid right now. This absolutely has to be his last opportunity. If he loses this fight, there's just no possible way he's going to fight again. That would be insane. But he does have deceiving power. When he's out there and you're watching him fight, he does not look like a guy that has power. He does have power in his hands, and he has very, very unorthodox striking. He can put you away with one of his weird from the hip, out of nowhere looping shots. And he'll always be in a fight because he is very tough. He is always throwing that, and he is always smiling, hence the nickname. Wellington, I have to imagine, is very aware of Sam's power and will be looking for a takedown. Our buddy Dan Kramer, he's not with us. He went from that ridiculous hike to now he's on some work trip somewhere. He was just in Connecticut training with Glover, hanging out, and trained with Wellington. Wellington is with Glover. They all trained together for the weekend. And the feedback from Dan was Wellington's good. He feels really good in his feet. He's very solid. His grappling, we all knew, was very good. And Wellington feels good. And when you're going into a fight against Sam Alvey, feeling as good as he felt, Dan saw his training, literally felt it. He trained with him. Dan likes Wellington in this fight. Wellington has very slick on the ground, very good BJJ black belt. He is always looking for a finish. He's not a position guy. He's always looking to get it done. So, you know, Dan felt it firsthand, picked Wellington. With that being said, Sam Alvey is much more live than people think. The odds makers are onto it at only plus 130. But I see a lot of people just, you know, want to add another loss to Sam Alvey's streak. So Wellington's the pick. I think Sam Alvey is, you know, it's a little tougher than people give him credit for, but what do you think?
Yeah, and two of those, his last 3 losses are split decisions. One's a draw, wasn't even a loss, and the other one was that Ryan Spann, which is a wild fight. Sam Alvey is tough, man, but I 100% completely agree with you that the UFC is basically saying, here is a guy that's probably not going to knock you out. Please just take him down and submit him so we can get you going in the right direction. I think his nickname was even the protege. He came in with all this hype, and the only thing that really worries me about this was he was knocked out cold. And that was only 2 months ago. It wasn't, it was on the ground. Usually that's a TKO. People are kind of covered up. The ref stops it, but he was knocked out like flatline while he was on his back. And that was only 2 months ago. So we'll see how his chin holds up. If he's a little hesitant, because if you get hesitant against Sam Alvey, he is a good fighter. I mean, he's on this streak, but like you said, he's still got a little bit of power in his hands. And if he catches you in the right spot, he's probably going to drop you. So, but I agree. This is what the UFC saying, just saying, please, Wellington, just please beat this guy. Not that they have anything against Sam. It's just, they know it's going to be a fun fight, a hittable guy that Wellington can kind of show out for. So I think Wellington definitely should win this fight. But if Sam Alvey just eats shots for 2.5 rounds and then finds a way to win, I'm not going to be surprised at all. So I stayed away from this fight, but my official pick, I guess, would be Wellington.
Yeah, I think it's closer than people are given credit for, but yeah, Wellington, let's put it this way. There is a clear path to victory for Wellington, a very clear path. He doesn't need to stand and bang. He has had fights in the past, right? He's coming off 2 knockout losses. He didn't really grapple. He was striking, was probably too comfortable striking, and he must be aware at this point. I mean, he's training with Glover. Glover has incredible fight IQ. He's one of the most realistic people on the planet. He's definitely talking to him saying, you need to shoot takedowns. You're amazing at wrestling. Use your at jiu-jitsu. Use your jiu-jitsu. He's got a very clear path to victory here. I think he takes it. I think he gets it done. I'm not spending the $8,400. I'm not going to grab a money line bet, but I might do the under on rounds because I don't think this sees a decision. I mean, I think Wellington either gets knocked out or submits Sam, and it's that simple. I don't really see a decision here. Sam Alvey knows how to lose. Either way, I do think the less on Monkey Knife Fight is solid, and I'm starting to feel weird because I've said a lot of lesses here, but I think the less might be a good pick. What do you think? It's a low line.
It's a tough one too because
it's right in the middle.
Because Sam is so hittable, but he'll return shots as well. So he'll eat an elbow on the chin and then throw like 3, stupid shots coming back at you, and one of them is durable. Yeah, one of them is powerful. So, and he is very durable. The only thing that, like you said, if the grappling comes into play, so this is a real close one. If I'm playing it, I'd stay away from this one or wait to see what the line moves to later in the week.
Yeah, that's probably the safer play. Wait for the line to move. WeOwnPicks.com. Grab yourself a promo. Get yourself some free money. Play a line. Give us some advice. Let you know what you're going to do.